Have you ever felt like your life is a performance, but you don't know who wrote the script? You wake up, you follow the rules, you wear the right clothes, say the right words, smile when expected. But deep down, something feels off. Like you're watching yourself from the outside, like you're not really here. And worse, like you've never truly been here. We chase success, we accumulate status, we laugh at jokes we don't find funny and call people friends who wouldn't notice if we disappeared. We call this normal. We call this reality. But what if it's not? How can you prove whether at this moment we are sleeping and all our thoughts are a dream? Plato. What if the world you've trusted your entire life isn't real? What if you've mistaken the walls of your prison for the edges of the universe? You didn't choose this dream. It was handed to you, conditioned into you since you could walk. And now, you don't even question it, because questioning it would mean facing something far more terrifying than lies. Freedom. Freedom means stepping into the unknown. It means walking without a script. It means burning down the cage you mistook for a home. But first, you have to see the cage. You have to look at your job, your habits, your relationships, your beliefs, and ask, is this mine? Or did I inherit it from people too afraid to question their own dream? The lie isn't that you're trapped. The lie is that you're awake, and no one tells you. It's painful to wake up. It hurts to realize the love you thought you had was just comfort, that the success you brag about is built on fear, that the version of you everyone praises is a mask you don't even like wearing. So you scroll, you binge, you distract, you pretend you're okay while your soul whispers, this is not it. You feel the weight of a life that looks full but feels empty. You feel the ache of conversations that never go deep, the quiet panic when you're alone, the fear that if you stopped moving for even 1 second, you'd fall apart, and you're not alone. Millions are trapped in this illusion, smiling through despair, checking boxes in a life they never questioned. But you're here, listening, not by accident. Something inside you wants more, wants truth, wants out. You can feel it, can't you? That subtle pull, that quiet rebellion inside. The part of you that's sick of pretending. The part that remembers who you were before the world told you who to be. There's a reason Plato spoke of a cave, a place where people sit, chained, watching shadows, thinking that's all there is. Because when you've lived your whole life in darkness, even the shadows feel familiar. Even the pain feels safe. But what if you stood up? What if you turned around? What if you walked toward the light, even if it blinded you at first? People won't understand. They'll tell you to sit back down, to stop being dramatic, to be grateful. But they don't see the chains. They don't hear the echo of your own voice screaming for something real. You do, so don't ignore it. Don't silence the ache just because others have. Don't settle for fine when your soul is asking for fire. And let me ask you something. Do you feel this too? That sense that something's off? That there's more than this? Tell me in the comments. I want to read what you're hiding. Not the polished version, the real one. The version that's tired of lying to itself. Because that's the first crack in the illusion. Honesty. And once the cracks begin, the light starts getting in. And the light, though blinding at first, is where truth lives. Where freedom breathes. Where you stop existing and start living. But waking up isn't a cinematic moment. There's no music, no applause, just silence and pain. And the disorienting realization that the life you built was never really yours. You begin to see how deep the programming runs. Every choice you thought was free was a reaction, a response to fear, to expectation, to pressure. You studied what was safe. You loved who was available. You became who was acceptable. And now you're a stranger to yourself. You say you want freedom, but do you really? Because freedom means responsibility. It means no more blaming your parents, no more blaming your past, no more blaming the system, the boss, the government, the economy. It means looking in the mirror and saying, I was asleep, and I let it happen. That's hard. That breaks something inside. But maybe it needs to break. Maybe the version of you that fit in so well wasn't supposed to survive. Because there's a part of you that's ancient. Untouched by the world. Unimpressed by your accomplishments. Unmoved by your excuses. It watches you as you perform. It waits. Patiently. For you to stop. To stop pretending. To stop chasing. To stop seeking validation from people who don't even know themselves. That part of you wants truth. And truth doesn't scream. It whispers. It arrives slowly, like dawn. First a discomfort, then a question, then a breaking, then light. You start noticing things. The way people speak without saying anything. The way entertainment distracts but never satisfies. The way small talk feels like a cage. You begin to crave depth, stillness, something real. You lose interest in things you used to love. You find crowds exhausting. You can't fake it anymore. You outgrow people, but they don't notice. Because they never really knew you. That's the loneliness of awakening. You lose your tribe before you find your truth. You wander, confused, raw, naked in a world that worships masks. You look for answers, but the old books don't help. The motivational quotes feel hollow. The influencers seem lost behind the filters. And in the quiet, you realize something terrifying. No one is coming to save you. There's no guru, no secret, no magic step. There's just you, and the cave, and the choice. Stay with the shadows, or face the sun. The shadows are safe. They don't demand anything. They let you stay numb, comfortable. But you've already seen through them. You can't go back. Not really. You might pretend for a while. Laugh at the jokes, post the selfies, play the role. But something inside you won't play along anymore. It's restless, agitated, awake. And that's where the suffering begins. When the soul awakens but the body remains in chains. You'll try to go back. You'll try to forget. But you'll fail. Because the lie has been exposed. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The food won't taste the same. The compliments won't warm you. The distractions won't numb you. Because your hunger has changed. You don't want comfort. You want clarity. You want to know who you are without the noise, without the masks, without the mirrors. And that knowing, it doesn't come cheap. You'll lose things. Maybe everything. Friends, status, the illusion of safety. But what you gain is everything that matters. Yourself, your truth, your vision. And suddenly, you understand why the cave was so seductive. It's not because the shadows are beautiful, but because the light is blinding. Truth is overwhelming. It strips you. It humbles you. It shows you how little you knew, how much you feared, how deeply you hid. But it also reveals how powerful you are. Not in the ego-driven, hustle-pushing, dominance-seeking way, but in the quiet, grounded, unwavering presence of someone who knows who they are and doesn't need to prove it. The world can't manipulate someone like that. Society can't mold someone like that. Fear can't own someone like that. And you can become someone like that. Not instantly, not easily, but inevitably, if you keep walking. The path out of the cave is narrow, dark, filled with doubts. You'll want to turn back. You'll miss the comfort. You'll grieve the old you. But every step forward is a return to something real. And that's worth the pain. That's worth the silence, the isolation, the nights you spend wondering if you've lost your mind. Because you haven't. You've lost the illusion. You've lost the need to perform, to impress, to fit. And that loss, that sacred, painful loss, is the beginning of your liberation. You're not broken. You're breaking free. So keep going. You've been taught to fear pain, to escape it, to suppress it, to sedate it. But what if the pain is not the enemy? What if it's the invitation? Because when everything is numb, you stop growing. You stop questioning. You stop living. Comfort is seductive, but it kills slowly. It silences the call inside you until your life becomes a quiet resignation. You smile for the photo. You nod in meetings. You say you're fine. But somewhere deep inside, a voice whispers, "This isn't it." That voice is your soul. It never shouts. but it never stops. And if you ignore it long enough, it becomes sickness, anxiety, addiction, despair. Not because life is cruel, but because you weren't meant to live asleep. You weren't meant to obey blindly, to chase things that don't fulfill you, to wear masks just to be accepted. You were meant to wake up, even if it breaks you, especially if it breaks you, because only what is false will break. The real you, the part untouched by fear, unshaken by opinion, undestroyed by time. That part will rise. But first, you have to see the lie. The lie that says you are not enough, that your worth is external, that your dreams are too big, that your fear means stop. You have to question the rules, the ones you follow without thinking, the ones written by people who were afraid too. You have to pause and ask, is this who I am, or who I was told to be? And that question, it's dangerous, because it dismantles your identity. It strips away the stories you use to feel safe. You're no longer the achiever, the people pleaser, the victim, the strong one. You're just there, bare, uncertain. But that's where it begins, in the empty space, in the silence between who you were and who you are becoming. And it's in that space you'll meet the real you. Not the edited version, not the curated one, but the soul underneath the scars. And when you meet that version, you won't need validation anymore. You'll stop begging for love. You'll stop competing for worth. You'll stop shrinking to make others comfortable. Because you'll know you were never broken, just buried. Buried beneath expectations, trauma, noise, fear. And once you start digging, you'll realize the life you want is buried under everything you're afraid to feel. So feel it. Feel the grief of lost years, the anger at your silence, the shame you carry that was never yours, the fear of being truly seen. Don't run, don't numb, don't distract. Sit with it. Look it in the eye. Let it say what it needs to say. You'll survive. More than that, you'll be transformed. You'll become dangerous to the systems that profit off your insecurity, to the stories that kept you small, to the people who only loved your mask. You'll become real, and real is rare. Real is magnetic. Real is free, but freedom has a cost. It means disappointing people. It means letting go of control. It means being misunderstood. And yes, it means facing your deepest wounds without flinching. Can you do that? Can you face the version of yourself you've tried so hard to escape? The one who made mistakes, who failed, who lied, who hurt others out of fear. Because healing doesn't mean denying that part. It means loving it, understanding it, integrating it. It means saying, yes, I did those things, and still, I'm worthy. That's the revolution, to be fully known and fully loved by yourself, to no longer seek salvation from others, to no longer wait for permission to be whole. And if you're feeling this now, if your chest is tight and your thoughts are racing, you're not alone. You feel this because it's real, because something inside you recognizes truth when it hears it. Do you feel it too? The ache, the hunger, the resistance? Tell me, in the comments. I want to know what you're carrying. I want to read your honesty. I want this to be a space where masks fall off, because we can't do this pretending anymore. We can't keep hiding behind smiles and filters and polished versions of pain. We are human. We are breaking. We are beautiful. But only if we stop lying. The cave is comfortable, yes, but it is also a tomb. Step out. Even if your legs shake, even if the light burns, even if no one follows. Because you are not here to impress the sleeping. You are here to awaken the soul. And that starts with you. And maybe that's the most terrifying truth of all. That you've always had the power to walk away from the cave. Not physically, but mentally, spiritually, existentially. To stop obeying the voices that told you who you should be. To stop believing that your worth is tied to what you produce, how you look, who approves of you. You were born free. And somewhere along the way, you were trained to forget that. They gave you mirrors and called them truth. They gave you fear and called it wisdom. They gave you comfort and called it love. But now, you remember. The questions are rising again. The discomfort is growing. and the illusions, they're starting to crack. That's not a crisis. That's a beginning. You're not broken, you're awakening. And yes, it's painful. Truth always is. Because it doesn't ask for your permission. It demands your transformation. But that's how it begins. Not with certainty, but with a whisper. There has to be more than this. And there is. There's a life beyond the cave. A clarity that doesn't scream. It hums quietly in the background until you're finally still enough to hear it. That's what this moment is. Stillness. Honesty. A return to something real. So let me ask you, what lie have you been living? What illusion have you mistaken for truth? Say it. Even if just to yourself, or if you feel brave, share it. I want to read it, not as a judgment, but as a mirror. Because your voice matters here. Your truth matters here. If this stirred something in you, if it opened a door you thought was locked, don't walk away like nothing happened. Let this be the moment you decided to stop pretending, to stop shrinking, to stop agreeing with the fear. Let this be the moment you began. And if you felt something real, then stay. Subscribe, not for me, for you. Because we need to keep walking together. We need more spaces where the soul is allowed to speak. You've seen the shadows. Now don't be afraid of the light. This is not the end. This is the beginning of everything that truly matters.